And we are back with another crit race, this time in the north of England. So I'm at a circuit which is newly built in Wyke, which is a little town near Bradford. And yeah, my first time at this circuit. Also having newly joined a cycle club up now where I'm based in Leeds, who are called Alba Rosa, which is the guy who's just passed me there at the front of this little group wearing the pink is part of. So there was a few people I had as teammates in this race, which was kind of like a nice change, because usually I'm just riding on my own, and very handy as well, because as you can see, I'm kind of starting this video just a little into the race here. We're kind of about 15 minutes in, and we were off the back there, and luckily there was a couple of other people also off the back, and I could use them and work with them to get back on. So yeah, back on the race, it was a really tough start, kind of flat out from the start. Coming into this sharp hairpin, which was quite a prominent feature of each of the laps, because it meant that everyone sprinted out of it afterwards and had to make sure that it was in the right gear to make sure that I could stay with everyone, and not try and let too big a gap open, especially into this bit, which was very open and there was quite a strong wind. So it was quite an easy circuit that if you lost a bit of a wheel in front of you like I have there, really hard to kind of get back onto that wheel, which was something that took a bit of practice kind of getting better at. Luckily some people come through, so I kind of used them to try and make sure I stay with the group and not get drops again. But yeah, it's been really tough from the start. I didn't have my heart rate for this because I ran out of batteries, but yeah, I was pretty much on the limit from the go. I had 3 other people from Alba Rosa in this race, and at the start they said they were going to make it a hard race and push on from the start, so you'll probably quite often see a bit of pink at the front of the group trying to make it a hard race. But yeah, I think I was one of the people that suffered from that, because I think I just don't have the out and out power for an hour that kind of a lot of the Cat3 riders do have. But yeah, something hopefully I can pick up this winter. Yeah, so kind of now a bit more settled in the group, as we're coming to complete this lap here. The race is, I think it was 55 minutes long, rather than kind of a set number of laps. And yeah, as we come through the start finish line here, we'll move on to another clip just a bit later on, a few laps later. Not much has happened, just kind of stuck with the group. But yeah, as you can see again, after that hairpin, everyone is sprinting out, pretty much putting down high watts to make it as difficult as possible, and it gets strung out every time. Everyone's in single file, because yeah, so it's really being pushed hard, and I'm just trying to make sure that I stay on the wheel in front of me and don't get drops again. But it was quite hard to move up as well because of the fast pace, and I did find myself at the back quite a few times, which wasn't an ideal position. We've got this guy on the left hand side who comes through from the back, and I think notices a bit of a lull in the group and sprints off and pushes on and attacks, which causes a couple of other people to then pick it up and push on and make sure that he doesn't get away. Again, you can see the Alba guys here pushing the group on to catch up. Again, yeah, making it difficult, sprinting out of the corners to make sure that it can stay with them. But yeah, again, it's strung out, and yeah, it's going fast and it's going hard, and I'm pretty much just trying to stay with the group at this point. Yeah, as you can see just there at the top that a couple of people have got away. There was this long drag which was across the start finish, with a slight uphill, and yeah, it was really tough here just to make sure that you could stay with everyone in front, because little gaps would open, and once a gap in front of a rider in front of you, yeah, it's quite risky, because you risk getting pushed out the back of the group without without even kind of noticing. Yeah, which was, I think, something I'll probably learn from, is to try and not, I was probably too worried about saving energy and sitting on people's wheels, but needed to make sure I was also good positioning to not get dropped. But you can see here it's really thinned out. I'm putting down as much power as I can to make sure that I don't lose those wheels of the main group, because you can see all these gaps have started to show. Yeah, riders are starting to struggle, starting to lose wheels in front of them, and already those are some quite big gaps there that we're trying to bridge across to get back to the main group. But yeah, I'm sitting on this guy's wheel for now, seeing if he can kind of bring us back. And then yeah, I think the mistake I made was not coming round and trying to push on after that. We do manage to catch this couple of riders in front of us, but there's still quite a few riders quite a bit ahead. And yeah, this was probably the point where I should have pushed on and kind of given it my all to make sure that I got back on that front group. Because yeah, as you can see, they're slowly fading away. And I'm kind of seeing my hopes of a decent finish kind of evaporate, but luckily I think this is Elliot from Alberosa starts pushing on. I just try and make sure I stay on his wheel, so at least I give myself a chance of staying in this race. And yeah, see if we can maybe work together to try and bridge back if there's a lull in the group. But yeah, at this point the race has just exploded. There's riders kind of all over the course in small little groups now. I think it was about 10 riders who were away in that front group. And I mean, they really don't look like that far away. Like it was kind of tantalizing at this point. I came through as I noticed Elliot was kind of slowing up a bit, so I tried to put my turn on the front and see if we could just get a little closer. And yeah, as we come to this hairpin, like it's kind of they're just so close, and it feels like almost like touch them on the other side of the hairpin. But yeah, sprinting back out the hairpin, and they just do seem very far away. And yeah, I've sped up this bit. As you can see, they kind of just stay out front that same amount. Elliot and I kind of work together. We've also got someone else on our wheel who unfortunately wasn't coming through to take a turn, but yeah, we try and work together to get back on the front, but unfortunately we just can't do it. And well, there was this point where it felt like we were going to catch them. I think it's because this ride off the back, maybe I thought that it felt closer than it was, and it felt like maybe we were definitely gaining, and we were definitely closer to the group at this point. But I think they just eased up a bit, and then someone there attacks and they go single file again. And yeah, after the effort that I put in to try and get to that point, I really didn't have much left in me to push on and kind of match the power that they were probably putting out. So yeah, I'm just kind of at this point not completely admitting defeat, but admitting the likelihood that I probably wasn't going to get back into that main group, and started to kind of just find my pace, find my rhythm. Still had Elliot and this other guy on my wheel, but as you can see, kind of struggling to even keep that wheel. And yeah, just try and work with as much as I can to see if there is any chance, if they ease up, that we could catch them. But unfortunately it's quite fruitless at this point, and yeah, we're just pushing hard, but they're quite a bit ahead now, and yeah, it was going to be too big a gap to catch up to. So yeah, at this point Elliot comes back through after I've done a bit of a turn on the front, and the other guy comes through as well as he sees the gap open up. And yeah, at this point I kind of decide that I just don't have the legs to keep going and keep trying to catch the group. So I just settled into my rhythm and just kind of time trial it out out to the finish. Yeah, so a few laps later, I do manage to actually catch up to this guy in front, the one who was on the back of my wheel and then overtook me. Managed to catch up to him, sit on his wheel for a bit. Feel like I deserved that. I'd earned that, and then come through and luckily managed to get that extra pace and gap him as well. So that was an extra position that I was quite happy to get. And then skip forward a few laps later as we just come to the finish, and I give it a bit of an out of the saddle sprint, but I'm fully on my own. There is no one around me to sprint against. But yeah, finished there and in 12th place in the end. So in the end, only a few points, a couple positions outside the points, which is unfortunate. Felt like I potentially could have got there with a bit of better kind of race tactics in the points, but it was good fun. Nice to try out a new circuit.